Hey everybody, that's our bunny Morty right there. We have two bunnies, Morty and Jolly, but it is time for learning. How are you doing right here, Matt, Karen, William? Good to see you here, William. Not trash, right? Not trash opening. William knows what I'm talking about right there. Good to see you here, Sam, Vinesh, Sierra. I need to get new headphones. That's what I need. Jessica, good to see you here too. We've been adding people to the Discord. Shouts to the Discord. Not trash at all, William says. We like that, William. We're 20 points right there. If you have questions right now, let us know. Noli, good to see you here. Nolan, good to see you here. And let me add you as a moderator. If you have questions, let us know. It's time for some 201, some 474, some 475. You give the question, and I do the work. Maybe you're working on the Canvas content. Maybe you're looking at the MyPearson. Maybe you want to know more about variables, finding the mean, finding the median. I'm trying to think what you're covering. Maybe you're wondering about the note cards. Any question you have right now, let me take it off top chat. But whatever you're wondering about, just drop those questions in the chat, and then we just start working away. That's how office hours work. You say, hey, I'm wondering about this. And then you get it in a video, so you can come back to it and be like, oh, what did he say right here? But good to see everyone here. Nolan, Noah, William, Jessica. Good to see you here. What questions are there? I'm stuck on the same problem that I asked you on the Discord numbers between... Oh, yeah. KP, good question about that, KP. Let me go ahead and talk about that. And let's go take a look. Let me pull up some artwork right here. And I'm going to do a similar but different problem. So we like to do similar but different all the time. I found those numbers when I'm coming in the Boolean form. Oh, yeah. Let's go check that out. So here we go. Timestamp this. 320... BAS 474 using logicals and finding the mean. Okay, let's go check it out here. Here we go. Okay, so what's really cool about this is we're actually doing a little bit of like 201 work right here. So if we take a look at this, we're going to take a data set of the car. So I'm kind of doing similar work KP right here. So if you see what I'm doing, I'm going to go to the MT cars data set. And let's just call this cars right now. So this is not exactly what you're doing, but you'll see how it coincides. And inside of MT cars, there is a vector. And let's first show people what the cars data set is. Who knows what this looks like? 20 points if you can tell me what this looks like. What program does this look like over here to you? Like this is a Mazda RX right here with this miles per gallon. Has anyone ever seen something that looks like this in your life? You ever see something that looks like this? It's good to kind of associate and be like, I've seen something like that. This is a data frame is what we call it, but that kind of looks like just a what? What does a data frame look like here? I like, hey, good answer right there. Jump, I'll take jump. Kind of looks like jump. Jump looks like this. I'd say it looks like Excel, right? It looks like Excel with rows and columns. And like, if you wanted to know the miles per gallon of a Hornet, it gets 21.4 miles per gallon. A table, yeah, it's a table of data, right? So it's a table of data. We call it a data frame. So a data frame, if you check what this is, you can look at the class of it. It'll tell you that it's a data frame right there. A data frame is like an Excel spreadsheet. Does that make sense? Like, you're like, this is the first, we can go to the first row of it. So this is how we go to the first row right there. The first row, and does that make sense? It's the Mazda RX-4. And if you look right here, it was the Mazda RX-4. How do we look at our MuBucks? Oh, anytime, just type in exclamation mark points right there. You can see Liz did great work right there, Liz. You can check out your points anytime right there, Nolan, with your points right there. Oh, thank you, Liz. More points to Liz right there. I think MuBot even recognized that, or MuBot checked my points right there. But you can check your points anytime to see how you're doing as I keep throwing out more points. So to KP's question, we maybe want to find the average miles per gallon for cars that get between 20 and 30. Does that make sense, KP? Does that sound pretty similar to you right there? Here's some more points right there, Nolan. So let's say we want first to go here to the cars and get the vector miles per gallon. This, just tell me what I'm seeing on the screen right here. Who can tell me what I'm seeing on the screen? You're welcome, Nolan. What are we seeing visually on the screen right here? Just always try to tell someone visually, this is what right here. Like, what are you seeing right there? That is all the whats. Those are all the different, and you can see it right here. We're seeing this right here. These values are all the miles per gallons for all the cars. Like, that's every car's miles per gallons. It's just a kind of like a list. We call it a vector. Good answer right there. No, we'd call it a vector right there because it's just this vertical vector has been put in horizontal format wrapping around the screen. So that's the first car's miles per gallon, the second, and it even tells you that this is the 13th. So if you went down here to where the 13th is at, it's somewhere. Oh, wait, here it is right now. There it is. That's the 13th. These are row names right here if you're wondering what those are. So how about we say greater than or equal to 20? Okay. Now, no longer is it a numeric vector. It is starts with an L. It's a what vector now. No longer is it numeric. We call trues and falses. So think about the L word. Trues and falses are a what kind of vector? Because this is no longer a numeric vector of numbers. Logical, great answer right there. It's logical. I think this is going to help right here, KP. I think this is going to help. So just we're going to look at the class of this. That just tells us how R sees it. We don't really need to do that, but it's saying that that vector you just saw right there is logical. It's telling us it is this, it's not this. So when you see true, true means that this value is above 21. So it did a check right there. So now what we're going to do also is we're going to do a second thing right here, and we're going to go right here and do an and. Now this will join it, and we want to go miles per gallon less than or equal to 30. So anywhere I see a true right now, anywhere I see a true, the miles per gallon has to be what to what. So anywhere we see a true, the miles per gallon, like if you look right here at this one, which is true, whoops, not that one. If you look right here at this one, which is true, the miles per gallon has to be what? So between 20 and 30, great job, Sierra, right there. It has to be between 20 and 30. So now we have only trues. And you see how it's less trues. There's like a false here because this one, wherever that one was at, it wasn't between 20 and 30. So only between 20 and 30. Great job right there, Jake. And so now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap this in a which. Remember how we do this? We're going to do this in little bits. You'll hear me mention that a lot today. When I wrap this in a which, it now is telling me the what's of the trues. So you see how this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9. Well, not the mean yet. We don't have the mean yet. We'll get the mean here in a second. Good answers right there, KP. These are the what's of where the trues are at, the positions. Does that make sense on this next step right here? I now have the positions of where the trues are at. Those are where the trues were at. Like the first thing was true. The second thing was true. The third thing was true. How's that look right there? Does this code make sense going from here's if they're true or false, that's if it meets the condition, and then the which tells you the positions of the things that meet the conditions, which is a super important function that tells you positions. So I'm going to store this right here as positions. Now you notice we have a integer vector. Integers are just numbers. And so we're going to take the integer vector and go to cars and go to the miles per gallon and go to the positions. And tell me, these are all miles per gallons that are what's? So I went to the cars data frame, got the miles per gallon vector, and took the positions right there. These are all miles per gallon that are what's? Because I went to only the positions that meet the conditions. Does it make sense? And so once you see this, you now have all the miles per gallons between 20 and 30, right? So now I just need to take this code right here and wrap it inside of a what? This is the last step right here, and then you got it. Now I just need to take this and wrap it inside of a what? Great question, KP. We're throwing out some 50 points. Really good question. Practicing this and doing the steps right here. So now I just wrap this inside of a what? Wrap it inside of a mean. There you go. That would be the average miles per gallon for cars that have miles per gallons between 20 and 30. There you go. That's it. Does it make more sense? Try doing it in steps and watch the code grow and be like, okay, let's find the ones that are above this. Now let's join an and right here. So it's this, and then kind of look at, like if you can look at it and make sure it's connecting to it, that's key to be like, okay, do I have this? The steps are the big thing. It's pretty tough. And tool one, if you have a question, let us know. We can do more 474, more 475. I was missing the which function. Yes, that's worth some more points right there. Great job. This is for 474, which is an upper level class. So Nolan, if you're in 474, 475, this is the lab one for 474, a variation on the question they're doing. They're doing something like values between 2,000 and 3,000 for a different data set, but it's the kind of understanding of how to solve it and the knowing how to use each function that's important. Which one are you working on, Nolan? We'll go back here to the main screen, but ask any question you're wondering about. What question are you wondering about? Just drop it in the chat. I put the bookmarks in, but you can just say, hey, Brian, I'm confused about the 5-number summary. I want to know more about the range or the IQR or the Trying to think of what else. The mean, the median, the mode, the histograms, the box plots, you name it. 201. Great job, Sam. Thank you for tagging that. I was doing chapter 2 quiz, and there were sections that asked about the 5-number summary, wondering what that is. Let's talk about the 5-number summary. So let me take a timestamp right here, Sam. Thank you so much, Sam. Some points for asking that. And stat 201, 5-number summary. Here we go to the main screen. Okay. Group projects. What? Okay. So when it comes time for the 5-number summary, it's values that we've been talking about that we just then put together in the 5-number summary. Liz, 50 points there, Liz, for the 5-number summary. Liz did a great job right there. Now, the best way to remember the 5-number summary is to draw 4 quarters. So check it out. You ready? We're going to draw 4 quarters. And I think it helps to remember how quarters work. There's quarter 1, there's quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. How much are quarters worth? How much money, how much cents are quarters worth? How much are quarters worth? If you had a quarter, how much money do you have? Very important in our class. Ooh, got a 475. Nice job right there for 475. We'll do that one next. How much are quarters worth? It's like if you want to memorize the 5-number summary, I suggest writing this down, drawing 25 cents right there. Great job, Noah, right there. 25 cents, 1/4 of a dollar. Now, here's how the 5-number summary works. You ready? We're going to take and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Does everyone see how that's now we got 5 lines? 5 lines for the 5-number summary. Now, I want you to try to think about if you were maybe, let's look at how much money you have. Let's just talk about, here's you. This is you. You know that, but that's you. And you're happy. This top Brian drawings. And you're down here, though. Maybe, well, you're over here, maybe. Why are you over here? And why are you happy? Because you have the what amount of money right now? If you have a full dollar, you would say, I have the what amount of money on this little sliding scale from down here to over here. Think about a 3-letter word, starts with an M. I have the what amount of money. If you're all the way over here, you have the what amount of money. What would this be? 3-letter word. The most money. Not most, though. Liz said it earlier, I think. So the maximum. You have the maximum amount of money. You're all the way over here at $1. That's awesome. That's the maximum amount of money. So this is the max over here. Now, you probably would be, we might take away his, oh no. He's very confused now. It's me. There we go. Now we go all the way. Can we move? Oh, now you're down here. Now you have the what amount of money. Now you're not so happy anymore. You don't have the maximum amount of money. You have the what amount of money. Now you're all the way down there and you're not so happy anymore. Now you don't have the maximum. You have the what? You have the minimum. So how about, oh my gosh, what is going on? Now, that's even better. Now, sometimes the class is just for my amusement. Now you're over here and you're kind of confused because you have the what amount of money. So we got the max at the top, the min at the bottom, and in the middle, for the 50th percentile, you would have the what amount of money? The median. So that's the median. Now, the remaining ones might seem kind of confusing, but just think right here. You've served your purpose, good sir. For this one right here, exactly how much money do you have? For that one right there, exactly how much money do you have? Just explain to me without even stats terms. Just explain to me how much money you have. No stats terms. If you were right here, how much money would you have? If that's where you're at on the money scale, don't use stats terms. Someone might give the right stats term anyways, but how much money would you have? This is how we memorize the 5-number summary. Like by using this and practicing. Great job, Liz got the right answer. It is Q1 because you have what? We call it Q1 because you have 1/4. Does that make sense? You have a quarter, so you have 1/4. And then what do you think this line over here, where you're at the 75th percentile, would be called? That line over there, where you're at the 75th percentile, would be called the what right there? What? Anyone got a good term for that line right there? That green line I've noted on the screen. That green line I would call what now? Q3, exactly, the 3rd quartile of the data. So we call this Q3 right here. And so that's Q3 right there. So if you notice right here, the 5-number summary breaks the data up into its 4 quarters. Now, 4 quarters have 5 lines because you have the max, the min, the middle line of the Q. Actually, you know what's interesting? What's another name for the median? For 20 points, what's another name for the median? We don't usually call it this. I'm not a big fan of calling the median this, but going by the way you can call things Q1 and Q3, it is another name for the median to call it this. I've rarely ever heard it called this, but I have. I've definitely seen it called this. I'm like, oh yeah, Q2, great job right there, Matt. Yep, Q2. You can call that Q2 or the median. Usually it's just called the median, the 50th percentile. And this gives us percentiles and data. What's so cool and what I really love about using R is if you go here to quantiles in the data and type cars, $ miles per gallon, it gives you the quantiles right there. So that's how we can get it really quick with code. I'm gonna make sure I have open something in Jump we can use to get the 5-number summary in Jump. Some problems, please tell me if my person says you're wrong. We went in a little rant on this yesterday. But if you're looking for the 5-number summary in data, one thing to do is to order the numbers. Let's take a look at this data set and do it by hand right here. Are you ready? Let's do this. If we have 10 numbers, between the what and what number would be the median? If you have 10 numbers, this is an actual Jump problem right here. If you have 10 numbers, between the what and what number would be the median? This is how to do this problem right here. It's in your assignment with the 5-number summary. If you have 10 numbers, and so what you want to do is you want to divide it evenly. You want to kind of slice it down the middle. You can just divide up a pizza for people and you say, oh, slice the pizza down the middle. We don't usually give you, great job right there, Sam. That is correct. Between the 5th and 6th right here. And you see how this divides into 5 numbers here, 5 numbers here. Sometimes there is a middle number, but this divides it into equal portions right here. So now you can see the median is what? Now it seems like it's more complicated, but it's not. Here, I'll make it a little bit more difficult. Okay, now the median is what? So be careful. I've changed the problem a little bit because if there is no middle number, which there's not for this problem, if there is no middle number, you have to what the 2 numbers right here. So try to find the median of this data set. These are 10 numbers right here. They're how much money people paid for a computer, let's say. So we could say price of computer. What is the median? So this is what people paid for a computer. What would be the median price paid for a computer? So this is just a good, like we give test questions like this. Order the numbers, find the middle number to find the median. We don't have you find Q1, Q3 on the test by hand though. 775, exactly correct, Sierra right there. 775, because you would average, and great job right there, Med explaining, take the mean of these 2 numbers right here. So if there is no middle number, it's the average of the 2 numbers that break it apart into 2 equal data sets. I just like writing it out and then looking at it. That's how you can do it visually. And great job, Sydney, right there, showing the math. Now, if you want to find Q1 and Q3 by hand, once again, we don't put those on the test. Sometimes we show Jump output. You want to break it into the 2 data sets. So if you look at this bottom data set, which of these numbers is the middle number for the bottom data set, which would be Q1, which would be the lower quartile? We call it the lower quartile. Like the lower 25% is at or below this of prices paid for computers. All data needs context. Chapter 1. What would be Q1? What would be Q1 right here? So if you try to think about a midway point, exactly number 8. Does that make sense? Great job right there, Sydney, pointing out that number 8 right here is the middle of this data set. See how it's the middle right there? So it's like the median of the lower quartile. We don't do the the Q1 on the test, and great job right there, Met. We don't do the Q1 on the test. We usually do like IQR and give you data to look at. Like we show you what it would be. So now that we know this is 550, I'll show you a trick right here. Let's go find the Q3. Q3 is going to be where? Where's Q3 going to be? Where's Q3 on this? It's going to be the median of the upper half of the data. So it's going to be the median of the upper half. So where's Q3? Q3 is 1150. Great job. It doesn't matter. Rock knows. Where's Rock at?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter which way you subtract them because, thank you, Rock. You're just always there for us. Because all this is telling you, we wouldn't really talk about it being negative. The IQR is telling you what these 2 numbers are from each other. We probably wouldn't say it's negative, but the IQR is just telling you, because it's a range of the interquartiles, the IQR is just how far away the 25th percentile is from the 75th. So if you do it in reverse order, you just get a negative number, but they're just 600 apart from each other. The distance between Q3 and Q1 is 600. Now, one real quick aside on this, what is so important about the IQR? What numbers would not be included in the IQR? This is a good knowledge check if you've been doing the chapters, because IQR is not impacted by skew, because this and this right here do not impact the IQR. What values am I pointing at? These values would not impact the IQR at all. And they could be extreme. What values do not impact the IQR? Because it's Q3 and Q1, it would have nothing to do with the what and what. These values right here would not impact the IQR. And it could be outliers. Great answer right there, Sam. The min and the max, which could be outliers. That's where outliers are generally going to be at, is your extreme values on either end of the distribution. Because here's the high end, what people like. Let's say someone was like, they bought like a really cool like gaming PC, and then someone got one from their friend for 20 bucks. So now if you look at this right here, we have not impacted the IQR at all. Does that make sense? Like, the IQR is not impacted by extreme values. The person who paid $8,000 for a PC and the person who paid $20 from a friend, they're not impacting the IQR. And all these values that I'm highlighting here, we got to go that. Now it's a bummer. It'd be the average of these two values. These values right here break the data up evenly into what we call the 5-number summary. So now the minimum someone paid for a computer is 20. The 25th percentile of what people paid is 550. The median is 775. It's the average of those two numbers. It's not both numbers. It's the average. Q3 means 75% of people paid 1150 or less, and the maximum value paid, which was an outlier, was 8,000. And a lot of these numbers here can be visualized in things like box plots, histograms, or stem and leaf plots. And that's a pretty good review of everything. Are there any last questions before we go on to the next topic right here? But you can see the box plot right here if we click the box plot button. And you can see that extreme value over there, and we can add in the 5-number summary to get an idea of what's going on. But this is what we like to do with data, is create visualizations, and a box plot will visualize the 5-number summary for you. I think it did. It's saying 1200. If you get something wrong because of jump, let me know. If jump tells you a different number here and then Pearson says you're wrong, please tell me. We went into this short rant yesterday, how there's different ways that they can be calculated based on just the way the statisticians decided to calculate them. I think this is one of the only issues I've seen throughout the semester where jump could possibly give you a wrong answer. But please tell me, hey, Brian, jump said I was wrong, and here's the 9 different ways to calculate quantiles, because statisticians, that's my best answer. Any last questions here about this Stat 201 topic, about the 5-number summary, about visualizing data with box plots? We can just go here to box of cars and miles per gallon, and we can get a box plot. Really? Oh, we got to go box plot. There we go, box plot. Yay! I'm stuck on question 3.C. That's 474, right? KP, let's do that next here after the 475 question. Coming up next. And if you have questions, ask your questions at any time. So don't worry if I'm doing a question right now, because we're going to go back here right now. We're going to grab that 475 question. And let's see. 475, maybe some suggestions to start thinking about ideas for our first group project. So let's put that right here. That way we get the questions. DS 475, first group project ideas. Okay, let's head over here to a new R script and start talking about some ideas for that first project. 474. Is this a 201 question? This is going to be a 475 question. Oh, no worries, Liz. Can you go over 3B? Good questions right there. 3B and 3C. You got it. It's 474, right? Okay. So here we go. Talking about ideas. Okay. 475 for their first group project is doing a Shiny app. Now, Shiny apps, if you don't know, I've got a whole bunch of stuff open right here. Let me go grab I think this is some 475 real quick right here. And let me show you. Is this right? Okay, so this is something I created right here. Cool. It is working. Okay. This, you can't see it yet. This is an app I created right here. Now, what do you notice this screen is giving you? If I select something like somebody's, let's say GPA, which is my Y variable of interest, it is giving me what right here? The y variable, I'm mainly getting the what for it. What do we notice we're getting right here? What do you see that we're getting? We're getting, this is kind of a key thing over here. What are we getting for this? We can actually alter it. We can change it. Anything we want. Getting correlation, right? So we're saying the most correlated variable with GPA is weight. So you could select that as your explanatory variable down here, and you go over here to weight. Now you can look at the univariate distributions. And what are you seeing on the screens? 201, good question for you also. You are seeing what's on the screen currently. You are seeing what on the screens. What are you seeing on the screen? Here's people's GPAs. Some people have some zeros. That's me over here. You can also zoom in, which is so cool about these graphics. You can zoom in at any point. So you can zoom in on this portion. Really fun and fascinating, right? You can grab the axis and just move it about. But what is this graphic called? 201 review question right here, or 474, 475. We should know what these graphics are called. These are what's right here. What are these graphics called? What's the name of these graphics? Give it a second more, but just these are just, we should know. We just practice like, oh, that's a blank. So it's a univariate quantitative display of data known as a what? Good review. GP is left skew. Nice answer right there, Matt. That is correct. It is left skew. If you're wondering for 201 about skew, we always talk about our monster man. And someone might say what these graphics are called right here. Close, KP. These are histograms. Histograms. Here we go. Here's your monster man. Got a bump in his tail down there. And he has left skew because, and great job, work right there, KP. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the tail goes. Right to the high, left to the low. So left is low side of the histogram, right is high side, whatever way the monster man's tail goes. Left to the low, right to the high, right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the monster man tail goes. And so this one's a little bit right skew right here. Unimodal right skew with maybe a second less primary modal area. Mostly unimodal, but little secondary mode. Scary. I don't mean to scare everybody. What do you think this graphic is called? Kind of hint up here. What do you think this graphic right here is called? What do you think this graphic right here is called? There's a hint at the top of the screen. This is a bivariate display. It's a scatter plot. Great answers right there. It's a scatter plot, and it's a bivariate display of two quantitative variables. Remember how these are quantitative? Now we're looking at the bivariate relationship. You notice that weight has a what correlation with GPA. We saw that right here to start, that weight has a what correlation with GPA. That weight has a what correlation, like people who weigh more, generally their GPA is water, meaning it has a what correlation. Weight has a what correlation with GPA. Weight has a what correlation with GPA. Negative, Matt, you got it right there. That's what negative correlation is that as one increases, the other one decreases. This is chapter 6 for 201, and we're doing a 475. Matt, 50 points right there, doing some 201 with some 475 right here. Great work, Matt. And so one thing you may not know, and this is chapter 7 for 201, is this smoothing line is to look to see if the relationship is really this or not this. And I want you to look at this start of it right here, because we put a line and a smoothing line. So we're trying to investigate, and great job, Michelle, right there, if the relationship for linear regression is what? Why would we add a line that could kind of bounce about to see if there is a what relationship here? To see if, why would I add this to my app, which I added this in, I added a smoothing line to see if there is a what relationship, which is very important for linear regression. I'm trying to see if there is a really strong what relationship or if it's not this. For linear regression, when you make a line, because I can move it, I can take out that smoothing line. So I'm trying to, that's exactly it. We're trying to see if there's a linear relationship. So the more that kind of doesn't go, like the more it bends around, the more evidence there is of non-linearity. So maybe the line might be a bad idea. Like we could try to find one right here where maybe it's got a non-linear, see a little bit of bend right there. You can just choose different variables. Ooh, look at this. This has a little bit of non-linearity. Here it's got like a parabolic form. So maybe the line is not the best idea. And you might just, I don't know of one that really is no right here. So, well, look at that. You see that levels off. Interesting. So there's definitely ones that might not have a good linear relationship. It might be better to talk about the non-linear. Like that doesn't bend so much. It might also be kind of weak. But anyways, up see that's really well defined by the line because the smoothing line's doing the same, but it's also much weaker, which we can see right here in the model summary with the R squared of only 5% of the variation explained. So what's the point of this? I was just able to do all different regressions with button clicks. I should probably remove out the loading in data, but this is an app that I wrote the code for. Does everyone see all this right here? This is all code I wrote. There's where it's doing the correlations right here. So this is the code I wrote right here where it's rounding the correlations to certain values, putting in the p-values and all this stuff right here. So I wrote all this code. Now, you're not meant to do all this. But how easy would it be if I trained somebody, I said, hey, you work for our company, and all you have to do is load in the data. It got mad because that's a categorical data. And I say you just pick the variables right here. Does this look, if I asked you to investigate variables, does this look hard to use? Like if I say investigate number of body piercings, and I want you to look at the correlations here, does this look a little bit easier to use than typing code? Like we don't have coders in our company. We have people, they want to use this thing right here that I created. The opposite, or it looks a little bit easier, right? Like you just kind of click through and look. Now we're doing the same x and the same y, so it's perfect linear relationship, r squared of 1. So there it is. Yay, r squared of 1. Number of body piercings explains number of body piercings, and then here's the data right here. So if they actually want to see the data, give me my data. It's not gonna load. But much easier, right? So what you want to do is you could. I'm trying to think how much more. Please, we're going to do some more 474 after this. I might create an app right here. Now, this is a very small app. Let me create you an app right now. You ready? I think this was, Noah, was this your question? We just did the 5-number summary for 201, right? So how about this? Do I still have that app from yesterday? Because I want to see how they did it. We downloaded an app yesterday in 475. Is it this one? I did it in like an untitled document. Label my documents. Is this the one? Yes. Okay, this is the app the person created right here that we took. I'm just going to look at how they're taking these values right here, the data, the X and the Y, and this is an app someone else created, where you can put the values right here, and then it'll give you the regression right here. So it'll actually draw the regression, it'll actually solve the equations, and then you can download this as a PDF. This is another app someone created. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to take a look at the format they did for this X and Y vector, and then I'm going to take this and turn it into a 5-number summary creator. Does that make sense, Noah? I'm going to use this right here. We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock, and then we're going to switch topics. But I'm going to try to make a 5-number summary that someone could just find the 5-number summary and it'll print it out. That's a smaller task. We might want to expand it, put some visuals, put a histogram on it, but we're just going to have it report to someone the 5-number summary. Okay, so here's their app where they're loading in their libraries. This is where they're creating their kind of layout for it. There's their title page. There's where this is a link right here. That's what the H reference is. That's a hyperlink reference. With Max, I don't know that function right there. So might be in one of these libraries. I don't know. What does that do? You can search. What does that do? Load the MathJX library and type, yeah. So, oh, it does expressions. It's like for using, yeah. I had never seen that. So if you don't know what something is, you can always do question mark this. That's a great thing to know when doing code, is if you don't know what this is, question mark it, and you'll find it. So they're doing the text input, and they're storing as X right there. And so that's going to be input $X. And there it is right here, and they're extracting it. Okay, cool. Then they're turning it into a data frame. Okay, so render data, that's where their data table, did they do it elsewhere? They're extracting it, render, oh, they're doing a render UI. Ooh, render UI is a little bit of fun. Render print, okay. So here's an important thing to know, which we'll be talking about in 475 today. If you have something in the UI, and this is a good thing right here, Noah. This is a huge thing for 475. This XLab right here is stored where? In the what list. 5-letter word starts with an I. This would be stored in the where list. This XLab right here is stored in the where list. This X variable right here is stored in the where list. The where list. So all these things you put in the UI are stored in the input list. That's key. So you notice I can kind of search to see what they're doing with that. If I go here to XLab, and I can see where they're using it later in their code. So I have to go to the input $sign. Even though it doesn't say input $sign up here, it's storing it there. This is the location it will be stored in, which is always the first argument in text input or any other input you're doing. So this is going to be the format right here. So it should be input format. And there you see it right there. So whatever someone put right there, and great job, Cindy and Vinish, right there. Excellent work. So, what have we done? We're going to go ahead and just take this right here. Then we're going to go to new Shiny Web App and go right next to it. Let's say 5num summary. Cannot do this in time. We will find out. We're going to remove out. We'll keep it right here. And let's drop this in right here. We should be good. Let's see if that runs. Do you see how I now have this right here in my app? Does that make sense to everybody? I now have a spot where you could put values right here. Logical right there. I just have a spot to put values. This is the default Shiny app that you can create. It just does the bin slider on this. We worked with it a little bit yesterday. Sometimes I just use it as a starting point to kind of build from. And so now we have a spot to put data. Now we want to go here and we have to put something in the UI because they're going to, that's why they're rendering UI. So let me look at theirs. They're rendering the UI because it's showing the data. No, we don't need render. We'll just do a render print. Okay. We need to calculate the 5-number summary in the server. Okay. So now I'm going to go down here to the server. And in the server, how much time we got? 1 minute. Good to see you here, Rod. Let's make Rod a mod. Good to see you, Rod. Okay. Now we're going to go here and go to output. Let's say 5num, and we need to go here to render print. Can I do a paste inside of here? It's just an example of a small thing to do. Yeah, sure. And then render print, and now let's say the 5-number summary is. And then let's put quantile. Might need to be reactive. I bit off a little more than I wanted. It's going to get mad about that. Let's see what it says. It's going to want reactive. Okay, it didn't crash. It didn't crash, which is good. It didn't crash. Okay. Now let's go up here. Now that we've done a render print, so the server renders things. We're going to be talking about that a lot today. I know I'm doing maybe things you haven't seen yet. Now we want to go over here and add in a new argument or new function. Seeing the end. Okay, that's the end of that. Just checking. That's my bill. I put a comma here. And it's not mad. It is working, right? Let me double check that I didn't crash everything because that comma looks a little bit out of place to me. Oh, yeah, it's still working. Okay. Now we're going to do text output. And we stored this in 5num sum. Oh, did I run the full thing? Non-numeric argument to binary operator. Of course we're in theirs. Let me see. We're going to give this 2 more minutes and we're going to change topics. We're going to do some forcing over. Michelle, good to see you here. Drop a question in the chat. We're doing a little building of Shiny apps right now. I think it's mad about that. Does everyone now it's working. Now it just says the 5-number summary is. Oh, do you know what it might be? You know what it might be? It might be because what? There's no data. It might be because we might need to do reactive. I thought it might be because there's no data, but it is working, so to say. Let me try to render UI on it. No. We want to go to UI output. Do outputs up here. Okay. Okay, it's still doing this. That's fine. Still mad at us. And let me not put a placeholder. They didn't have a placeholder to start on theirs. There we go, value. Let me have it boot up with these values. And then we're going to switch. Now it's got values in it. It's still mad at me. Michelle's Unite. Nice. Oh, we're so close. We're so close to getting it to work. Let me try and do the following. Reactive and quantiles of x, and let's say 5num and store into this. Okay. Last little shot right here. If it doesn't work, we got so close, and then we'll fix it later. Non-numeric. It's super mad at me. Non-numeric argument to binary operator. It should. Oh, no. I think I know the issue. I just realized it. It's the class of the object. Because if we just put in numbers, it's reading it in as a string. Oh my gosh. So let's go right here and go to as.numeric. Don't fail me now. Missing value. Okay, that's nice. That's good. At least we got somewhere different. Okay, let me try. I think we're right about there. The 5-number summary is NA. Yes. Why is it mad about that? Let's try Brian. Well, we're almost there. This is how we make apps. This is how we make apps. We're so close. Maybe we'll finish this up during class right here. But we basically almost have the 5-number summary right here. We're just one step away. As numeric input X. I haven't worked with that input before. Text input, yeah, text input. And as numeric, it should have liked it. Oh, what am I doing? As numeric, and then quantile. Okay, moment of truth. Error missing, NA is not allowed is false. NA remove is false. What's the matter about those NAs? It's the X object, I believe. It's that object. Ooh, that's interesting. The 5-number summary is, and then it's doing it for each value. Okay, so that's part of the problem. So we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what's going on. But it's mad about how this is being calculated right here. But we basically almost have it. It is displaying it right now. But there's something about the way the input is going in. So we just have to fix it. But it'd be nice. Make a little 5-number summary calculator right here. We're so close. So close. We're going to switch gears and do some Force94 now. But this is how we build apps. This is how we try it. And we just work on it till it works. Let's go back here to the main screen and do some Force94. If you have questions, drop those questions in the chat right now. We're going to do some of the lab for Force74 right now. But drop those questions in the chat. We do bookmark these so you can come back later here. BAS Force74. I think it was 3B and 3C for Lab 1. Okay. Let's go grab that Lab 1 right here. Coming up. Lab 1 due tonight. Working with data in R. I might push it back till tomorrow night. I think that'd be good. Let me go and do that. So we have things due on... Try to make even these due on Wednesdays. There we go. Okay. Lab 1 has been moved. Let's go grab Lab 1 RMD. Consistency is the key. And we need Lab 1 data. You'll see it here in a second. And the CSV. Okay. So we got Lab 1 opened up right here. And let's go take a look at some Lab 1 data. Are we allowed to use jump or Excel during the exam? No jump or Excel during the exam. Good question right there. We'll give you the output from it. Good question right there, Matt. And Sam, thank you for wondering about that too. Okay, so we're doing some R right here. And so let's take a look at no jump or Excel during the exams. You'll get output from it, and the questions will be small enough to use on a calculator for 201. Small enough, you can usually calculate them by hand too. But I highly suggest a calculator. Any calculator works as long as it doesn't have internet. like your phone would be not a good calculator to use. So don't use an internet phone. Let's go right here. Let's scroll down to 3B, I think it was 3B and 3C. 3B says, and thank you so much, Finish, right there. Never asked when. 3B asks, imagine that the 999 and negative 4.3 are bogus values that should be treated as missing. Replace these two values with R's way of representing missingness. So does anyone know what missingness is in R? We actually saw some missingness a second ago. My app was talking to me about missingness. How do we represent missingness in R? 20 points. Good review for 474, 475. If you see missingness, how is missingness represented? NA, KP, great job right there. Do you know what NaN is? Do you know what that is? So NA represents kind of like it doesn't exist. It's missing. So you could make a vector of numbers where the third number doesn't exist. So there's just no number there. Don't put it in quotes. So NaN, if people are wondering, is not a number. I'm trying to think how you get things that are not a number, like, oops, not a number. So that stands for not a number. So it's like, I don't know what the class is of not a number. It might be I think it's logical. It's numeric. So it's numeric, but it's not a number. I don't know. R is weird. So we are going to do this right here. We're going to find these values. We've got the vector. Is it? Oh, manually type the elements. Okay. So we'll take some of these elements right here. So I'm kind of doing similar but different work. Basically working the problem. So we're going to take kind of these values. So be careful. Let me put a note right here. Kind of doing the work. Does everyone understand I'm kind of doing it? And so let's go right here, and we've got a vector of values, and there's a few 999s in here. So also we have a negative 4.3. Does that make sense that these are just values right here on the screen? These are just numbers. They're just values, and I can make it a lot simpler if I make the vector a lot smaller, so you only see maybe just a few values on the screen to make it make sense. So there's the 4 values in the vector. Does that make sense? This is a vector of length 4. How to square root and log? SQRT. And also, so there's the square root right there. And log is base E unless you specify the base of the log, which you can specify any base. But the base of the log by default is base E. So if you do not specify a base of a log, you will get the same thing as log base E. This is how to write E. It's exp1. But that'll give you log base E by default. Can we add in the vector? Well, you'll want to make the vector in the problem. You'll want to make the vector in the problem. So does that make sense? Because I didn't quite do that one step. I like to do most of the problem. You want to create the vector it tells you to create. I've kind of created just a very small vector, which we could just call vector X. Does that make sense right here that this is now vector X? And it's just a very small vector with only 4 values in it. You can see the 4 values right here. We'll space them out a little bit. Jump reads through space, or R reads through spaces. So you can see value 1, value 2, value 3, value 4. If we wanted this to be something like the square root of 3, we could call it that right there. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I stored it. I didn't run it. I thought it said that. So that's the square root of 3. If we wanted it to be the log base E of 3, or the log, that's the log base E, or if it was log base 10, it could be this. I think the second value works as the base, and so that's the log base 10. And we could confirm this by typing in 100, and now it should be 2. Is this all making sense right here, KP? For this problem, making the vector, this is what are you taking the log of, and then this is the base of it. So the log of 100 base 10 is 2, and you can see it down here in this vector. So we have a vector of length 4, meaning there's 4 elements in it. We can also see that we stored it. We'll delete everything out here. We stored it into the global environment. So now R knows this. It knows it because we stored into object X. So with this right here, we want to go in and we want to find the things that are 999 or negative 4.3. So let's take a look at those. To do this, we have to ask, and let's say interest right here. I am interested in 999 and negative 4.3. Does that, I have just specified, put a yes or no in the chat. I have just talked about, I am interested in these things. I am interested in these things. I am interested in these things. Does that make, all I'm doing is just saying, let me just create a thing of things I'm interested in. I could change it later if I'm interested in other things. Those are the values I'm interested in. How are we doing on that? Just what I'm looking for. I want to maybe find those things. That's what I want to find. So if we want to find those things, good work right there, Sierra. Let's do this. You ready? Let's write is the values in X contained in. That's what that stands for. That stands for contained in. Percent I in percent means contained in the interest vector. And now what do you notice? I want you to think why it says true right here, why it says true right here, why it says false right here, and why it says true right here. And then I'll show you the wrong way of doing it. Why does it say those values right there? Because 999, the value in X, is contained in the interest vector. Does that make sense? Slow me down if I say anything that doesn't make sense, because we just build. We have to know that percent I and percent checks, is this contained over on the right? So is a value here on the left, exactly. So is this value here on the left contained over on the right? It looks through the whole thing. It says, is 999 contained over here? Yes. Is 999 contained over here? Yes. This is 2 because it's log 100 base 10. Is 2 contained over here? No. Is negative 4.3 contained over here? Yes. Now you have to be careful, and great job, Lindsay, right there, 20 points. You have to be careful because if you do the following, we probably are not going to get the same answer. Now, equals is a logical check that goes through element by element. If it runs out of elements, it repeats. So what we should get, I'll throw 100 points if anyone can tell me. You have to type 4 trues or falses. What should we get if we run this code, which is the wrong way of doing it? What should we get if we run this code? This is the wrong way. And it could come out to the right answer, but take a moment. True, false, maybe 100. Let's just give you 100 points right there to start. We are going to get true, false, false, true. Correct. That is correct. Great job, KP. Perfect answer. That is correct because it does it goes through element by element. It checks the first with the first, the second with the second, and then it wraps back around. It's this full thing. It wraps back around to the first because it runs out of elements. If this were to be longer right here and have 3, it would say like a length error. When you get to this one, it would say like, it still does it, but when it tries to wrap around, it tells you that they're not equal length objects. It still does the work though, and it gives a warning message because you have a vector of length 4 and a vector of length 3, so it can't equally divide them like it could a second ago when we had a vector of length 4 and a vector of length 2, which 2 goes into 4 evenly divisible. But you have to understand what the code is doing. This second code is doing a pairwise check. Is first element equal to first element? Is second element equal to second element? Is third equal to first? Is fourth equal to second? That's why we get the following right here, because when it checked 999 here, it checked if it was equal to this. But we don't want to see if 999 is equal to the second element. We want to see if 999 is contained in the vector of interest. So now that we've done it the right way, the question becomes, what are the positions? What are the positions, and what should I do to find the positions of the trues? So the answer should be 1, 2, 4, but what should I do to find the positions of the trues? So what should I do to find the positions of the trues? Like, which ones are the trues? So what should I do to find which ones are the trues? Like, which positions they're in? What code finds which positions those things are in? Which, like, we do a logical check. Positions... That would be, and great job, Sierra, right there. So if you do the following, and let me read what this would be. This would be an object positions, finding the positions within. Square brackets find positions. The which function, which when we do functions, and good work right there, KP and Sierra. The which functions have parentheses, will then evaluate this and tell us the positions of the trues. And then we're going to do what I usually do. This is my steps of doing it, is store this into something called positions. And now we have the positions of the trues in this object. Does that make sense? And great work, KP. Really good practice. Just the steps right here to be like, we now have the positions of the trues stored. Now that we have the positions of the trues stored, we're going to go to vector X. We're going to go to those positions and overwrite with NA. And then we're going to look at vector X and we see that we've done it. Does that make sense right here? Does this make sense right here that we've now gone to vector X and overwrote? We only have 2 in the vector now. It's not quite your problem, but we only have 2 right there because we overwrote position 1, position 2, position 4. We overwrote these positions up here with NAs. How's that looking? So I took my positions, position 1, 2, and 4, because that's what this stands for. And then I went to vector X. Here we'll show what it was. Oh, whoa. Stop. We don't want to hit this. So at this point right here, before I overwrite, I'm going to these positions, and then I'm overwriting an NA inside of it, and then I'm looking to see if I created it. I think that's the other print to the screen. And now find the median of the vector. Who knows what the median of this vector is? Well, you have to watch out, because if I do median of this vector, 20 points. 20 points. What is this code going to return? Good practice right here. What is this code going to return currently? So we're asking the median of vector X. Now, if you're 201, you might know the right answer to it, but you have to watch out in 474. There's a coding problem. Great job, KP. It's going to return NA. And the reason it returns NA is because there's missing values. So how do we fix this? We type na.remove, which is an additional argument, and you set it to true. You can actually set things to true or false by typing 1, T, or you can type out the full thing. But 1s and 0s are trues and falses. And great job right there, Lindsay and Karen, remembering NA remove. Set removes NAs. And now the median of the vector, because the vector only had 1 value in it, is 2. Now, this is not your answer, but Lindsay, Sierra, KP, does this make sense? And we do have more time for more 201, more 474, more 475. Just keep asking those questions. We've done a few fun questions today. What else is there? This is what we've done today so far. What else is there? Just say, hey, I'm working on this. Oh, I'm wondering about this. And we just jump right into it. I spend more time on a topic when we don't have another one. So anytime we're talking about something, just, hey, I'm working on the Canvas content quiz. Hey, I'm working on this My Pearson assignment. So whatever you're working on, we'll head over to the main screen. Which ones are you working on? I'm going to try to grab some coffee between classes. Our coffee machine puts coffee grounds in our coffee. It thinks we want them, but we don't. Just one drop. That's it. That's it for the coffee. I think you don't trust me, there's coffee in here. Can we still do no-code structure credit? That is correct, Sam. I sent an email. Trash. I could not agree more, William. I sent out an email this morning. Lab went smoothly yesterday. Nice job. Was it the lab for the 474? The number E raised to the power 1.5. How would you do that? 20 points. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Anyone know what show that's from? It's a horrible lemon grab impersonation. I have a question about what you said was due Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think we're putting everything for both classes due on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. EXP, that is correct. So the number E raised to, correct. So if you do EXP1, that is just simply E. Like that is the value E. And then this right here would be E raised to 1.5. It's just stored as a function. Like it creates what's due is a 2 to 5 pay report 3 times a week. Yeah. And then labs for 474. There's also labs with infinite tries. Did I put the infinite tries on? Tell me if they're not. It should be infinite tries. It's just practice, but still worth a grade. So there's labs for 474, and then there's group projects and personal projects for 475. Oh yeah, you're watching. I think Michelle's watching. Is it Adventure Time? It's Adventure Time, right? It's actually Justin Roiland, I think, who does the voice of Lemon Grab from Rick and Morty. Not Rick. Well, Rick and Morty is Justin Roiland, and then Adventure Time. Justin Roiland does a voice or voices, I think, on it. So good stuff right there. Adventure Time. It got later on. Yeah, Justin Roiland is it's awesome. He's done so much cool, fun stuff. But yeah, check out some Rick and Morty, Adventure Time. You know, what's a show I've been meaning to watch? Gravity Falls. And drop a question if you have it. Any questions you have, drop those questions. Let me fix Rod's hours right here. If your hours are not correct, let me know. We've been fixing those for 474, 475. So Rod, we're gonna add in your extra hours. We're gonna add on those extra 5 hours right here. There you are. We're throwing 6 because you've been here today, so you got it right there. You have to watch Gravity Falls. Yeah, that's so. I've heard some really good stuff about Gravity Falls. So there's so many. Any other good suggestions on shows? Like The Boys, apparently I've been hearing great things about. It's on season 3 or whatever. Umbrella Academy I want to watch. Like Umbrella Academy, The Boys. We're almost through Orange is the New Black. What else? Oh, we're watching Black Sails. What else are we watching? We're way behind on Attack on Titan. I want to see Umbrella Academy. Heard great things. Yeah. Stranger Things. We're on season 3 Stranger Things. We're behind. What are we doing? We need to stop like work. Like I should tell UT I can't teach classes. I just have to give all my student A's. This one of those tough decisions you make in life. You say, I got a lot of TV to catch up on. Stranger Things is so good. No spoilers in the chat. Let's just watch in class. Just have like when you're in high school or something and the teacher's wheels in. Don't know Stranger Things season 4 spoilers. Never seen an episode of Stranger Things. Definitely check it out. We will fail if you stop teaching. I control the grades, right? If you have questions, let me know. Those were the best classes. We watched Last of the Mohicans. Daniel Day-Lewis. Watched that with, I won't say his name, but I still remember him. That was my teacher, my history teacher. Kinda. Let me see here. Kinda. What question? Does anyone have any other question? How should I random disconnect? We love those random disconnects. Tell me if anyone saw any buffers. Oh, cool. One of my sister's friends is an astronomer. I tried, but it didn't work. You tried the uninstall? Here, let's go to the. Do you have a Mac or PC, KP? Do you have a Mac or PC? Which one are you? Used to have those commercials, Mac or PC. PC. Okay, cool. Okay. So let's head over to the main screen. Updating R. Here we go. So this is updating R right here. Let me put a section in here. This is mainly for 474. BAS 474, updating R. Okay, so have you gone here? I might need to turn off my ringer. Have you gone here, KP? Have you gone over... Might have called 20 years ago. Have you gone over here? Can you please... Yeah, did you just get it in the chat? You should see it in the chat right there. And then you want to download this right here. But you'll probably want to go to... If you go to your programs... Oh, you updated our studio. KP right there, some 50 points. Love that. One of the things I like most about this, and please ask a question. We got time for another question if you still have it. I think people who feels like you can just say what you're thinking, or does anyone's like, hey, I just come here and I just talk and I just ask my question, and if I get something wrong, whatever, it's fine. You just update this, update that. We just figure it out. It's one of the best things I like about this. I couldn't install Shiny Widgets yesterday. Can you send the code? Yes, of course. Let's jump over to that. Install. Let me library Shiny Widgets. Oh, it's probably the capital W. Install.packages Shiny Widgets. Here you go, William. In the chat for you right there is the code. Just make sure to copy paste that code. It might have been the capital W, the lowercase s. Why they gotta do that? I don't know. They just like to be weird. But that should do it right there. The lowercase s, the capital W might have been the issue. Just capitalization, who knows? So, you're welcome, William. Just ask those questions whenever you got them. Let me know. Any other questions right now? We got like 10 more minutes. I'm gonna get some more coffee here today. More coffee. All the coffee. 201, how you doing? You got questions, let me know. Maybe we could fix that app. Where's our app? Where's our broken app? You're welcome, Matt. Thank you for being here. I might try to fix up this app right here. It's It's how it's taking this object. Is it the paste it's mad about? Are you doing a lab 1 anytime before it's due? We won't do a full review, but I can do any questions on it during especially office hours. I can do any questions on it. We're going to go through the material probably today and tomorrow, but I can do any questions on it. If you're like, hey, can you do this question? Can you explain how to do this? It's kind of meant to be a work at your own pace type thing, but you can jump into office hours and be like, hey, can you work this problem? And then also what's super great is if you ask about it, I add it to the list of what we've done. You can see right there 3B and 3C, which basically showing how to do it. Like I try to do like a different version of it, so you still have to kind of like figure out how to work yours, but the code will be so similar. A lot of times it's like changing just a vector name or something, because I don't want to like show the answer. I know probably he only gives out 20 points these days, William. You're welcome right there. You're welcome. I really want to get this to work. It's such a small thing. And the render print is working. Like, what's it mad about? What's it mad about? Let me just go render print input. Because they're having theirs display. I might look what they did. We just called it, did we call it X? Ooh, how are they making that X there? There it is right there. Let's try render print on input X. You can paste that, right? Okay, you see, there it is. There it is. That is, it sees it. Okay, that's good. Does everyone notice right here? We have right here the numbers put in. Like, this is in a beautiful app right now. If you see what we got right here, oh, it's not a vector. Because it's just printing what's there. It's not treating it as a vector. So now they had to have taken this X right here, this object X, and they had to have turned it into a vector. That's part of the issue. Is it the extract? Oh, we need to extract it. Okay, and then they're storing it as that, and then they're working with it. Okay, I think that's the issue. Okay, let's go here to let's store over extract. I don't use extract that much. Okay, cool. I should have remembered it did that. Is this gonna work? No applicable class character. Okay, there we go. Remember I said it was character class? We don't want that. As .numeric. Was it gonna say no applicable thing for no applicable for object double numeric? What? What is just not liking us? It's just all mad at us. This is the way it goes sometimes. So how is theirs not getting mad at it? Because they have an input Y right here, and they're extracting it, and then they're turning it into a data table. You know what? You know what? We're just going to straight up take this right here, and they're storing it as an output data table. And they're rendering it into a data table, making a data frame of X and Y. That will take it. We're so close. We'll finish up with this today. We're so close. Sometimes you can be so close but so far, Sydney. You can just be like, right there. We're going to get this, though. Okay, so they're making the data table of it. That's where they're writing their expressions. Okay, so they're making a data table. We don't want an output table. But if it's stored as a data table, we should be able to manipulate it. So close. Let's go right here. Drop that in. Okay. Oh, we don't have a Y variable. Haha. Let's only put in our X variable here. Oops. So now we're only putting in the X variable. And it seems to not get mad at that. And then when they manipulate, let's see how they do the regression down here. But it's working. I thought I was doing it the same way as them. Okay. What did we call ours? We called ours 5num summary. And they called theirs summary verbatim text. Okay. There we go. This is, we talked about yesterday about when to copy code, when to not copy code. And this is where I support copying code. This is where I support. Okay, we don't want fit. No applicable method for extract flight and object class. Now, they're not getting that, and I'm wondering why. Because they're doing the same thing. Text input. And we took that. It's not the tags. We got time for just one or two more attempts at this. Is it as numeric? Okay, wait. Wait, this might be it right here. This is it right here. I think this is it. Should have noticed this at the start. This is it. G sub. Okay. G sub is removing. Okay, string split, and then there. Okay, I think this is it. I think that was it. Text. I think that's it. Gotta be. Come on. There we go. Guess what we've done? We have achieved the goal. We now have a what? We now did it. We have now created the end goal of a 5-number summary creator. May have taken all office hours, but we did it. 5-number summary generator. And now we go in here and we remove out our slider for the bins. And so here's our all slider thing. Just want to make sure I don't delete the wrong thing. We don't need that comma anymore. Did it just in the nick of time right here. And now we've got down here, let's go to our histogram. And the histogram, let's take and just take the X. We don't care about, oh, we could, you know what we could do? We keep in the bin slider for it. And instead of using the faithful data set, we're just going to take input X. Is it going to work? Must be from a finite. No. Let's say right here. Histogram X. Still mad at me. Good to see her, Liz. Breaks equals bins. Let's delete the bins. Let's say 10. We're so close. Last song of the day right here. There we go. Got the histogram. Well, that's not right. It's not the data. 5-number summary is working. We're close to getting the bins on it. Histogram X. What's it not? Oh, because input X. X must be numeric. Oh, is it want? There we go. Now we got the histogram of it. Cool. There's the histogram of it. Okay, now we need the number of bins. Okay, we're so close. You can't tell I love doing this kind of stuff. Let me go grab the bins. Breaks equals bins. Nice. Now we have the ability to change the bins, and we still got our 5-number summary down here. Good stuff right here. 5-number summary in the bins, and last but not least, we're gonna add in a color generator. Oh wait, color. Oh. Where is it? I used it yesterday. Color gradient. No. Found it. Input ID. Oh, come on. UI not found across the UI. What? What's that matter? Oh. What is that mad about? Full no default. Oh, did I misuse the color input? So close. Where is it? Oh, here we go. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Well, I don't know. I have fun with this kind of stuff. I'm like, it's got to work. We got to create our 5-number summary creator here with the bins. And now if you were doing, you could actually just enter the data in if you were doing your work inside of R or for 201, but you could enter in the values right here. You could see the histogram. We could add a box plot below this. All these things right here could be done, especially for 201 or any class. But yeah, there we go. It's our little mini app to end class today or end office hours today. But this is kind of the goal. Change our bins right here. 1 bin, tons of bins, you name it. How many bins you want, you got. So that's what we do. So we're doing in 475, kind of just doing review of 201 topics. And we kind of took a general layout and turned it into our own during office hours here. Till next time, we'll be back. A little bit of fun for 475 right there. Bye, everybody. Bye, Matt.